It's mid-August 2025, the height of summer. Yet something feels off. Across the UK and USA, people are noticing early signs of autumn. Yellow leaves skittering across the pavement, blackberries already ripe, apple trees heavy with fruit weeks ahead of schedule. Social media is full of photos of trees shedding leaves and gardeners reporting early harvests. The seasons, once predictable, now seem to be shifting. This isn't just nostalgia for cooler days. It's a real shared experience. Are we simply eager for autumn, or is nature signaling a true change? Let's explore what's happening, look at the evidence, and separate genuine seasonal shifts from the tricks of a stressed environment. The whispers of an early autumn are here. Let's listen. When does autumn actually begin? It's a question that seems simple, but the answer is surprisingly complex. As the days grow shorter and the air turns crisp, many of us start to wonder, has autumn truly arrived, or is it just our imagination? The truth is, there's more than one way to define the start of this beautiful season. In fact, there are three main ways to tell when autumn begins, each with its own logic and tradition. These definitions come from science, nature, and our own experience, and sometimes they don't all agree. The first is meteorological autumn, which is the simplest and most straightforward. Meteorologists divide the year into 4 neat quarters, so autumn always runs from September 1st to November 30th. This method is based on the calendar, making it easy to compare weather patterns and climate data from year to year. It's practical, but it doesn't always match what we see outside our windows. The second way is astronomical autumn, which is tied to the movements of the Earth and the Sun. Astronomical autumn begins at the autumnal equinox. This year, that's September 22nd, when the Sun crosses the celestial equator and day and night are nearly equal in length. This definition connects us to the rhythms of the cosmos, reminding us that the seasons are shaped by our planet's journey through space. But perhaps the most intuitive way to sense autumn is through phenological signs, nature's own calendar. Phenological autumn is marked by the changes we see and feel all around us. Leaves turning brilliant shades of red and gold, birds gathering in flocks to migrate south, and mushrooms and fungi popping up in the damp forest floor. These are the signals that tell us autumn is here, regardless of what the calendar or the stars say. This is the autumn we experience with our senses. The crunch of leaves underfoot, the smell of wood smoke in the air, the cool breeze on our skin. It's a season defined not by dates or celestial events, but by the living world responding to subtle shifts in temperature and light. Phenological autumn is fluid and ever-changing. It can arrive early or late depending on the year's weather, how much rain has fallen, how warm or cool the days have been, and how quickly the daylight fades. This makes it a moving target, but also a deeply personal experience. When people say autumn feels early or late, they're responding to these natural cues. Maybe the leaves are dropping sooner than usual, or the geese are flying south ahead of schedule. These observations are rooted in our connection to the environment. By understanding these three definitions, meteorological, astronomical, and phenological, we can better untangle whether autumn is truly arriving ahead of schedule or if it's just a trick of perception. Each method offers a different perspective, and together, they help us appreciate the complexity of the changing seasons. The biological clock in every plant and animal gives us some of the most intriguing clues about our environment's health. When trees bud, birds migrate, or fungi sprout, they're responding to subtle changes in their surroundings. Signals that scientists can use to track the impacts of climate and environmental change. So, as we watch the world transform each autumn, let's pay attention to what nature is telling us. The signs are all around, waiting for us to notice and understand the story of the season. Across the UK and USA, early signs of phenological autumn are everywhere. Trees like birch and horse chestnut are shedding leaves in August. A stressed, patchy change, not the vibrant colors of October. Blackberries and apples are ripening weeks early, a response to environmental cues. Birdwatchers note some species flocking sooner, and wading birds are arriving early on UK estuaries. In North America, songbirds are finishing nesting and preparing to migrate ahead of schedule. Fungi, too, are appearing after summer rains, signaling underground changes. These aren't dramatic events, but together, they show the seasonal clock is ticking faster. Nature is sending subtle but unmistakable signals. As the days grow shorter and the air cools, you might notice leaves changing color and drifting to the ground. But is this truly the start of autumn, or could it be something else entirely? Sometimes what looks like an early fall is actually a false autumn, a phenomenon where stress tricks trees into shedding their leaves before their time. When trees face extreme conditions like drought or intense heat, they can become so stressed that they drop their leaves as a survival tactic. This isn't a gentle transition into a new season, but a desperate measure to conserve water and energy. The trees aren't responding to the calendar, they're reacting to crisis. This year, relentless heat waves and prolonged droughts across the UK and US have pushed many trees to their limits. The parched landscapes and shrinking rivers are more than just scenery. They're signs of ecosystems under pressure, and trees are among the first to show distress. In a classic autumn, leaves transform into brilliant reds, oranges, and yellows, falling slowly and predictably. But during a false autumn, leaves skip the color show. They turn brown, curl up, and drop suddenly, often leaving branches bare almost overnight. Take a closer look around you. Is it just one tree losing its leaves, or is the entire woodland affected? A widespread leaf drop can signal a larger environmental problem, while a single tree might just be sick or old. Notice the leaves themselves. Are they vibrant and full of life, or are they shriveled, dry, and lifeless? The difference tells a story about what's really happening in the environment. A healthy early autumn with its rich tapestry of colors can hint at subtle shifts in climate patterns. But a false autumn, marked by widespread browning and sudden leaf loss, is a red flag, an urgent warning that trees are struggling to cope with environmental stress. These differences matter. They reveal whether nature is adapting to gradual change or buckling under sudden, severe stress. Understanding this helps us see the bigger picture of our changing world. The signs we observe, patchy forests, dry leaves, and altered wildlife behavior, aren't just quirks of the season. They're indicators of deeper systemic issues affecting entire ecosystems. By learning to recognize the difference between a true autumn and a false one, we empower ourselves to respond appropriately, whether that means supporting conservation efforts, advocating for climate action, or simply staying informed about the health of our local environment. The early signs of autumn, whether they're truly seasonal or just a false alarm, are more than just a beautiful spectacle. They're clear fingerprints of climate change, quietly signaling that something fundamental is shifting in our environment. When we see leaves turning color and dropping earlier than usual, it's not just a quirk of the weather. It's a sign that the natural rhythms we've come to expect are being disrupted. Plants are incredibly sensitive to their surroundings. They respond to temperature, the length of daylight, and the availability of water. But when extreme heat and prolonged drought strike, these natural cues can be overridden. Instead of following their usual seasonal patterns, plants are forced to adapt quickly, sometimes in ways that can be harmful to themselves and the ecosystems that depend on them. During intense heat waves, plants go into survival mode. They may drop their leaves or fruit earlier than normal to conserve precious water and energy. This accelerated timeline means that fruit often falls before it's fully ripe, and leaves turn brown and drop long before the true autumn should arrive. This rush to complete their life cycle can have serious consequences. Fruits that drop too soon are less nutritious, and the sudden loss of leaves and berries can disrupt entire food webs. Birds and other wildlife may arrive expecting a feast, only to find that the food they rely on has already vanished, leaving them struggling to survive. Rainfall patterns are shifting as well. We're seeing longer dry spells, followed by sudden, intense downpours. These erratic changes put even more stress on plants, making it harder for them to recover and thrive. When heavy rain finally does arrive, the ground is often too hard and dry to absorb it. Instead of soaking in, the water runs off, causing flash floods and erosion, but doing little to relieve the underlying drought. This cycle of drought and flood leaves plants and landscapes in a constant state of stress. This relentless one-two punch of heat and thirst is what's driving the phenomenon known as false autumn. Plants are tricked into behaving as if the season has changed, even when it hasn't, leading to landscapes that shift from green to brown almost overnight. The result? Ecosystems become desynchronized. Plants are stressed, wildlife is left searching for food and shelter, and the delicate balance that supports life is thrown off course. These disruptions ripple through the food chain, affecting everything from insects to large mammals. Importantly, these changes aren't just isolated incidents or local oddities. They're part of a much larger global pattern. All around the world, scientists are observing similar shifts, evidence that our planet's climate is changing in profound ways. The science is clear. Our natural world is being pushed to its limits. Rising temperatures, unpredictable rainfall, and extreme weather events are all putting unprecedented pressure on plants, animals, and entire ecosystems. Recognizing these patterns is the crucial first step. By understanding what's happening and why, we can begin to take action, both individually and collectively, to protect the natural world and help restore balance to our changing planet. Autumn's story in 2025 isn't the same everywhere. In southern and eastern England, drought and heat have brought early leaf drop, while Scotland and the northwest remain green. Soil type matters too. Trees on sandy soils show stress faster than those on clay. In the US, the Great Plains are deep in false autumn, while the Pacific Northwest looks healthy. The Northeast is mixed, some areas lush, others browning. Local geography, weather, and plant types shape each region's response. Ancient oaks in England and aspens in the Rockies react differently to stress. These local stories reveal the complexity of climate impacts. Noticing early autumn signs? Here's what you can do. Observe closely. Is it one tree or many? Urban or rural? Your observations matter. Gardeners, water deeply and mulch to help plants cope with drought. Birdwatchers, keep feeders and water sources stocked. Early fruiting may mean food shortages later. Record what you see. Migration dates, leaf changes, using a notebook or app. Plant drought-tolerant native species for future resilience. Embrace biodiversity. A mix of plants creates a stronger ecosystem. Leave some leaves and logs. Messy gardens support wildlife and soil health. Small actions in your patch can make a big difference. Every observer helps build a more resilient environment. You don't need a science degree to make a difference. Citizen science projects like Nature's Calendar, UK, and Nature's Notebook, USA, rely on everyday observations. Your notes on leaf color, fruit ripening, or bird migration add to a vast, valuable dataset. Scientists can't be everywhere. Your input fills crucial gaps. This data tracks climate impacts, validates models, and guides conservation. Get involved. Pick a tree, watch it through the seasons, and record what you see. It's simple, rewarding, and connects you to your environment. Your eyes are powerful scientific tools. By sharing your observations, you help tell the story of our changing world. Together, we can better understand and protect our planet. As August ends, the line between summer and autumn blurs. Early leaf fall and fruit ripening are nature's response to a warming climate. These changes ripple through ecosystems, threatening food webs and forest health. The phenological mismatch, when plants and animals fall out of sync, is happening now. But this isn't a message of despair, it's a call to awareness and action. By reading these signs, we become engaged stewards of our world. Understanding leads to meaningful change, from local action to climate advocacy. Every falling leaf and migrating bird tells a story. Let's listen, learn, and respond. These early whispers of autumn are both a warning and an invitation to care for our fragile, beautiful planet.